Damn, this Green Arrow run has been so good. And we're getting the Batman Question and Green Arrow Black label this year, and Absolute Green Arrow next year. Green Arrow fans are eating well.
3 days later.
Okay, they're cancelling the mainline run, but at least we have Absolute Green Arrow and the Black label coming.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, just please leave the Black label alone. Please. It has been a rough few weeks for Green Arrow fans. From his ongoing series being cancelled to this. I and many Green Arrow fans were so excited to see what was in store for Absolute Ollie after they announced the series a few months ago. Finally, we can join in with the fun. Maybe not. Yeah, as you've probably heard, Absolute Oliver Queen has been killed before his solo series even started. So, that poses the question, what the hell is Absolute Green Arrow gonna be about? The death of Oliver Queen in this universe actually means a lot more than just killing off the character. Oliver is the DC character that stands up against fascist regimes and big evil corporations. The death of Oliver in this universe isn't due to the character being weak, although mainline Ollie would have been splitting those arrows for sure. Instead, it represents what he stands for as being stomped out, the idea of the Green Arrow, and showing how evil and hopeless this universe really is. Many people point out how Green Arrow is the heart or conscience of the DC universe.
Still don't think I belong up here.
That's the point. Someone like you will keep us honest.
So, by taking him out, you're left with a soulless world, which is exactly what the Absolute Universe is. But although we don't have Ollie, that doesn't mean another character can't take up that mantle before the light has truly been snuffed out by the new evil Justice League. The first and most obvious option is for Roy Harper to take up the mantle of the Green Arrow. This is honestly what they're probably going to do, so I just want to get it over and done with before I look into some more fun choices. And trust me, the last one is crazy. Roy Harper, Speedy or Arsenal, whatever you want to call him, has been Ollie's longest ally. Roy has one of the most compelling character arcs in DC Comics. He was Oliver's first sidekick, introduced all the way back in the 1940s, as a kid archer who idolised the Green Arrow. But unlike a lot of kid sidekicks, Roy's story wasn't just about fighting crime. Roy has battled addiction, fatherhood, trauma and loss. He's been a Teen Titan, a member of the Justice League, and a hero who's constantly tried to live up to and sometimes surpass Oliver's legacy. Through ups, downs, and many, many more downs, he has always found his way back to Ollie's side, even being prominently featured in the latest arc of the mainline run. However, even though he's been a character for over 80 years, Roy has never really picked up the Green Arrow mantle for a story. Instead, usually becoming Arsenal, which, although a cool character, is not the Green Arrow. Before Ollie began his short-lived war against Absolute Jeffrey Epstein, Jubal Slade, he was on the phone to Roy, who was trying to talk Ollie down. This could work as great motivation for Roy, wanting to get revenge on Hawkman and fulfill Ollie's crusade against Slade, perhaps blaming himself for Ollie's death. The writer of Absolute Green Arrow, Pornsat Peterschot, recently shared his love of one-man army stories, perhaps foreshadowing what Absolute Green Arrow will be, a one-man army of Roy Harper avenging Oliver Queen. Next, less likely, but to me far more interesting, would be for Connor Hawke to take up the mantle of the Green Arrow. Connor isn't just Oliver's biological son, he's also one of the most skilled and unique heroes in the DC universe. Raised in a monastery, Connor was trained from a young age in martial arts and philosophy, giving him a calm and grounded approach to heroism that contrasts sharply with his father's fiery personality. As stated by Batman himself, Connor is one of, if not the, best hand-to-hand fighters in the DC universe. He's also one of the few legacy heroes who has already carried the Green Arrow mantle. After Oliver's death in 1995, Connor stepped into his father's boots and served as Green Arrow for almost 6 years, becoming a fan favourite in his own right. Not only would this be a great twist, rather than the more predictable Roy route, but it would also help cement Connor as a definitive alternative Green Arrow, and serve as a nice callback to his previous run. On top of this, and what really makes me want to see Connor take over as the Green Arrow rather than Roy, is his beliefs and how they'd be tested in such a twisted universe. Connor Hawke follows a Buddhist philosophy that emphasises inner peace and non-violence. Putting Connor in this position could be really interesting for his character, as he fights absolute evil while trying to maintain those beliefs. Not only is he fighting the most vile of villains in Jubal Slade, but he's fighting the killer of his own father. It doesn't get much more personal than that. Sure, Roy as a one-man army would be cool, but Connor's philosophies could add an extra level of depth and complexity to an already cool story. I feel the most important thing about the mantle of the Green Arrow is the character's beliefs. just like I mentioned in a super cool video I made about writers betraying the characters they're writing for that you should definitely check out. And although Roy Harper would be cool, I don't feel like a one-man army story highlighting him killing for revenge serves as an absolute Green Arrow story as much as it does an absolute Arsenal series. Connor, however, would keep the spirit of the Green Arrow alive. Next, if DC wants to do something really new and meaningful with absolute Green Arrow, the most compelling choice to me might be Mia Dearden. In the main continuity, Oliver found her on the streets of Star City, a runaway teenager who had been forced into sex work just to survive. She'd been preyed upon and exploited by the kind of men who operate above the law, the ones with money, power, and influence. The same kind of men that Oliver has dedicated himself to fighting. Instead of turning away, Oliver stepped in. He helped Mia escape that life, gave her a home, and eventually trained her as his new partner, Speedy. Her arc was one of the most powerful stories in DC Comics. A survivor who refused to let the worst people in the world define her. That's exactly why Mia picking up the bow in the Absolute Universe would hit so hard. Because now, with Jubal Slade, a billionaire predator and trafficker with shades of Jeffrey Epstein at the centre of the story, Mia's fight becomes so personal. She doesn't represent Oliver's wealth or privilege, she represents the people crushed by it. And where Oliver's mission was to expose corruption, Mia's will be to burn it down from the inside. To hunt the predators who think they're untouchable because of their money and power as a one-woman army. Okay, now lastly, and this one may have come from me grieving Ollie, but what if Absolute Green Arrow is Oliver Queen? Okay, yeah, hear me out. I prefer the Mia choice as well. But when Ollie's body was thrown onto the table, who was sitting there? Well, none other than Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, I know it kind of feels crazy and maybe a bit of a stretch, but as we've seen with other DC characters in the Absolute Universe, they're all missing something. For Batman, it's his wealth. For Wonder Woman, she's the Princess of Hell rather than growing up on a paradise island off Themyscira. And for Superman, he left Krypton as an adult, not a baby. What if, for Oliver, he loses the island? Before we even get to the Lazarus Pit idea, it's worth remembering how crucial the island is to Green Arrow's story. It's not just a part of his origin, it's the crucible that made the Green Arrow. Oliver was stripped of his money, weapons, comfort. Oliver was forced to become something more through pure suffering and survival. Without that hellish experience, he wouldn't be the hero he became. As we can see, Ollie still has his wealth in the Absolute Universe, and maybe hasn't even taken up the hood, or cap, yet. So what if Ollie is put into the Lazarus Pit by Ra's al Ghul, and that suffering, both mental and physical, works as an alternative to the island, a different sort of hell and suffering to fight through, then coming out the other side as the Green Arrow we've always loved, or at least one that has his sanity. Or at least something close enough. Maybe even giving his wealth away, you know, why not? It's not just me saying it. So there's just some ideas on where DC should take Absolute Green Arrow. I'm fully expecting DC to announce that Roy is the next Green Arrow as soon as I post this video, but oh well, it's been fun to theorise. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas on what Absolute Green Arrow may be. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate the love on the last few videos, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.